Okay, this is known as Winter Wonderland in Hamilton Township in Kuser Park.
Okay, so how many got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can let 6 in. I can let 6 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can let one more in. Any singles? Once again, if you're just doing the lights and trees, I can let you in there. Can you come over here, please?
Right there?
Well, I can just move back just a little bit. I'm pretty loud. I don't want to blow your eardrum out.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to Kuser Mansion, guys. This is it's good that you came here for the full tour, and we'll be glad to serve you tonight with some information about this place. This place was built around 1892, 1893. It was purchased by Fred Kuser and his wife Teresa. He bought it off the Goldies. This used to be a working farm, the Goldie farm. They had 77, 75, 76 acres, I think. Fred bought it for $7,000, and he put this beautiful house up here. It only took about 1 year to do. They'll go into the structure and stuff like that when you get inside. This place was their summer home. They lived in New York City most of the year. They came down here at the end of May and would leave in early September, back up to New York City, where they would, like I said, would spend most of the time. A lot of questions people ask me was like, why would anybody want to leave New York City and come down to Hamilton Township? Well, back in 1880s, 1890s, New York City wasn't the way it was today. Remember, the sewage was a little bit different. You had horses and carriages and a lot of different. On a hot day, the stench could be smelled for miles from New York City out into the ocean even. So it wasn't the greatest place in the world to live. Now, sure, the ritzy areas of New York City, they paid for that stuff to get done outside their house, to keep everything clean out there. But not everybody in New York City had that kind of money to pay for it. So the city wasn't quite different. It was a little bit, coming down here was a nice respite for the Kusers, believe me. Teresa and Fred had 10 children. They were all born up there in New York City, but they came down here and summered down here, as they say. His parents lived up there on Kuser Road at the Homestead Inn, it's called, Chicolello's. That's where his parents lived, and they stayed here only in the summer until 1924, I think it was, when the father passed away. He didn't want the mother here by herself, so he sold his place in New York City and lived out here full time. He put all these windows in here and winterized this place. He opened up 3 of the 7 fireplaces that are in here now, and he put some heat registers in as well. Because they started, well, when they were here in the summertime, there was no fireplaces needed. You know what I mean? There was, and but there's some very interesting. They were very involved in different businesses around the county here. They had a lot of business influence. I'll just give you one small example. 1892, this place wasn't lit by candles like everybody else, and kerosene light like everybody else. He had a gas line run from Bordentown, New Jersey, a natural gas line that ran all the way from Bordentown right to this house. This house was lit by gas like Benjamin Franklin's house and the State House was in Trenton, New Jersey. So when you came here, you were hobnobbing with the big time. You really were. The tennis court out there, the clay tennis court, a lot of Wimbledon champions came here to play and practice on that clay tennis court. It was hard to find a good clay tennis court in this area in the Northeast, but he had one out there. And champions would come here and practice before the French Open happened in June. French is played on clay. It's the only major that's played on clay. So there was, like I said, there was a lot of interesting history here that I'm sure you'll enjoy as you go through. Any questions, guys?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to know, who's that doll? Is that the wife?
Oh no, that's just a mannequin.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is. As far as I know.
Decor.
Come on here, and Joan will take you to the rest of the
All right, thank you. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you? Welcome, welcome. You look nice and warm. Oh, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, let's get through this. Walking at the Well, welcome to the Kuser Manor. I'm sure John told you it was built in 1892. It was built by Fred and Teresa. Teresa, her maiden name was Dolger, and her family owned a brewery in Trenton.
Obviously, of course, it's not first one.
And they had immigrants that came over and worked there, and when Fred married Teresa, he became the logistics guy and the master glue. So he would go back and forth to the Manhattan house, because this house was strictly summer. The porch was open, there was no heat in this house, water was generated by windmills. There were 3 of them.
Fireplaces are
But all the hand carving and woodwork that you see was done by the immigrants that worked in the brewery.
This is one of them,
The
I'm not
house
sure.
has 7 fireplaces. None at the time were working.
Keeping in mind that the
When
now, you have,
Fred and Teresa, built the house, it was mainly for a sign to cutting some money,
And
because they did entertain a lot in the summertime.
so when he wanted.
Excuse me, this room was originally called a hall, and on the ceiling there were clouds and angels and trumpets. And then when the one son took over permanent residence and memorized all that, they redid. Fred and Teresa had 10 children, 6 girls, 4 boys. When they passed, the boys negotiated, and Fritz, the one son, bought out the other brothers. And they winterized the whole house, and it became a permanent residence, and that was back in the 1940s. Like I said, they did not have children, so they entertained too. He had a tennis club for about 50 years, 40, 50 years. The tennis courts that's out on the grounds here is actually an original clay tennis court. He had a lot of Wimbledon players that would come out. They entertained like a lot of socialites. They had their hands in a lot of different businesses. They owned Mercer Car Company, they owned the Ice Company, the Coal Company, Fox Films. Fritz actually turned part of the dining room in the back into a movie space. And on Sundays, they would host family and friends over, and then they would push everything back into movies. And you can't see it because it's behind the Queen Tree, but there's a list of the different movies. They did things, Shirley Temple, they did some Star Wars stuff, different, just various movies. And actually, we do host 3 movie nights here, during the spring, summer, and fall. Yeah, we do. We have a couple of events that we do, and they're all free. You just have to go to the website and then just. This is our family. It's really just, that's Edna. She was the last owner here. They sold this house to the town like 70, and the property also was, it was a dual purchase, the Green Acres and the township. But this room was the morning when we got the most sun. She would, sit, have her coffee. There are 2 sets of pocket doors. Not really sure prior to her living here what the room was used for. Being they entertained, it could have been like a area where they had like canned meetings, or maybe they started in this room with a cocktail party kind of thing. And, you don't know. Everything was so formal back in the day. This is the main staircase. Yeah. Yep, and you'll be coming down that staircase and out that way. But this was the family entrance. There's a porch on the side. Teresa, like I said, and Fred had 10 children. That is her yard of treasures. It's a yard's worth of pictures, but they're missing the youngest, Raymond. He came last, and he's next to it. I think he might have been like a little bit of a child. But that is the new things we like that. So anyways, this is the dining room, and you're welcome to go on into the dining room. Good luck to you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, congratulations.
I just need to take a drink of water. I'm getting a little dry. Welcome to the Kuser family dining room. The table and chairs were custom made for the Kusers by a firm in New York City. They had their first meal here in 1982. Everything was hand carved because, of course, they didn't have electric tools at the beginning. They had actually hand tools that they made, to make the furniture. The beautiful color on the fireplace. The tile is imported from Europe. It's been here since the house was built. And the chairs are leather. They were the same color as the fireplace. Because of the age, they have faded. Carpeting is original to the home. And also on the mantle, the clock and the candle holders were a wedding gift to Teresa and Fred, and they came from Tiffany and Company in New York City. The Kusers were invested into Lenox China, which was made in Trenton at the time. And in that cabinet over there, you see some of the gold rim glasses. They were all Lenox. Of course, Lenox sadly is no longer made in Trenton or in the United States. So its value as a collectible, really not sure at this point. Over in the corner, it's hard to see because of the trees, is a grandfather clock. It's from the Black Forest region of Germany. Germany. It's believed to be at least 250 years old, if not older than that. It was brought over by one of the families when they emigrated to the United States, and do believe it dates back to the 1700s.
That's good.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? And the woodworking is
Is that,
gorgeous.
what's the top? Is the top wood or is that something else?
What was that?
Is the top of it wood?
Oh yeah, that's all wood. Yeah,
Really?
that's all
Yeah, I
wood.
didn't know if it
Yeah.
was wood or bronze or something.
What was that?
I don't
No,
know if
it's
it was
all
brass or
wood,
anything.
yes, yes.
Wow.
Actually, also, the Kusers were a part of the movie industry. They invested $250,000 into Fox Films, which at the time, this time period would be in the millions. Okay, as a result of that, if you look back there, there's a screen behind there. It's a CinemaScope screen. That came out in about 1952. It was the first one on the East Coast. And before that, they had a flat screen. The original projection room is over there. And we have all the old projectors and movie, like posters and everything. You can see that at another time of the year when we have our tours in the weekends. You get to go in there and see all this stuff. It's really cool. Because when the Kusers sold the house to the township, they sold all the contents in the home also. So starting in 1931, they had movie nights here. So they had their own home. Yeah, hello. Hello.
Who's that? That's so
They had all their, excuse me, they actually had movie nights. So they kind of had their own home movie theater here, which is unusual at the time. So in 1931, the first film that they had shown was called Smart Woman. It starred Mary Astor, who was a silent screen star. Because at that time, the movies were still not what they called the talkies. They were silent, so they had like what you would call closed captioning or subtitles. And they would play music that went along with the action of what happened on the screen. The last film, and they actually made it very elaborate because they had a buffet dinner. They would invite people from the neighborhood, possibly some of the actors and actresses that were in some of the movies. And Fritz, one of the sons, detail. And we still have movie nights. Obviously, we don't use with the projector. And we saw movie nights. We show about 3 or 4 Fox films a year, not first run. And instead of dinner, you get a bag of chips and a bottle of water. And it's free to the public, and we just set it up like they would have it set up at that time. Just move the table over here and just put chairs up and stuff. So it's kind of something that the township's trying to keep the tradition a little bit alive at that point. Also at this time, they were very formal in everything. And Mr. Kuser would sit at the head of the table, and he had a buzzer underneath his foot. So when he wanted dinner service to start, he would press it, and it would ring into the butler's pantry. The butler knew it was time to start dinner service. And Mr. Kuser didn't say a word. It was just went on throughout the whole thing, you know? I mean, like I said, very formal. And they would have like 3-course meals, and this is in the summertime. If you think about it, that's kind of crazy, you know, but that's the way they did it back then. So another interesting fact is, because the house was so open then, and it was summertime, and they didn't have all the construction noise that we have, fire engines and trucks and everything. So they had this chime system where they would call everybody in to get ready for dinner. And because everybody would be on the outside, fishing, maybe swimming in the ponds, horseback riding, things like that. And we even have a picture somewhere in the house of the men fishing, and they were dressed in suits. And the women, if they rode horseback riding, they had to wear the full habit, and they were not allowed to ride like regular. They had to ride what they call side saddle, because it wasn't appropriate. So, anyway, over here, I'm going to do the chimes for you.
Oh, I saw that.
And from what we understand, they could hear it throughout the whole grounds, because the house was very open, you know? Had all the windows open, and had transom windows throughout the home. Everything would be open. They said that they could hear it throughout the whole grounds. But we do believe that maybe people pass the word on. Right. Yeah. Now, if you go through here, there's the butler's pantry, then the kitchen, and then you will go upstairs. Okay?
Is that safe for real?
Huh?
Is that safe for real?
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, well, they had a danger of fire in the beginning, because it was candlelight and gaslight.
Yeah.
So, and it's never been moved.
That's yeah, boy, yeah, I can imagine. Incredible ways. Oh no, oh no. Oh, who's that?
Cast iron stove, you can use either wood or coal to heat it. Ugly device back there that has the wheel and the gear in front. That was used to crush grapes so they could make wine. The red device right there is a bottle capper, so when we're done putting the wine in a bottle, you can use that red device to cap it. All right. The light brown object in front of the table is a model of a butter tray. Okay, and behind you is an ice box. Alright, so ice would go in the top, and then food would go down here.
Wow.
And you better have good knees to get out.
Yeah, it's not the freezers on the bottom.
What about the top?
There was a storage. Now it's security. Television for security cameras.
Is that a butler, you say? Is that like the thing you go up and down, or no?
No.
Oh, it's just a pantry.
Nope.
I thought it, you know what I thought it was.
I know, yeah. No,
Ding
there is-
ding, bring
there-
me
no.
whatever.
The only way you
Some
have
apple
one of
cider.
them
Yeah.
is when you have the dining area and the cooking area on different floors.
Ah, okay.
That's when you get
Oh,
the
yeah.
dumbwaiter.
That makes sense.
You're free to go upstairs.
Hi, another tour guide.
A bunch of us here tonight.
Is the wallpaper original? I've noticed it twice.
It's not.
Looks
The
like
house was-
some
the
looks like
house was built-
30s.
Well, the house was built in 1892, but the township bought the house in 1976. So they brought it back to as close to as what it would have been at the time.
Ah.
So it's representative of the time, but it's not original. So these were the boys' bedrooms. These two here. Now this room is set up like a sewing. Room now because that's what it was when the family stopped living in the house. But originally, when the house was built, I love this outfit. You look so crazy in that.
Along with the roadways, they started the Mercer cars, the factory was on Whitehead Road. Before that, there was the Walter cars, and then they got together with the road.
Oh, oh my. Wow. I don't know. I never had no bedroom that big. Amazing. I'm trying to get. Is that a closet? Ooh. Yeah.
That's another bathroom.
No way.
Now, John was one of the twins, John and Anthony, Fred's brother, so that must be John or John's. The homestead over on Kuser Road, Chicanella's, that was where Rudolph and Rosalie lived. They were the parents and Fred was the
Hard to find this information. Yeah, the old trail system, like, where it used to,
That's a lot of the house.
like, anywhere the buildings there. But yeah, it's interesting, so it's Kuser. They were big in Mercer County. They were a big family.
Why we came here to find out more. But he's always on his bikes, so he knows all of these roads better than anyone I know.
That's cool, yeah. I kind of like to go up there and see that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
It is.
You're welcome. You have a good holiday.
Thank you.
Tennis courts, they had the tennis club here. The guest bedroom, and then it was here. This would have been the little sisters. There were 6 girls, older sisters, their boys and up the stairs. And this was mom and dad. But the Raymond's baby crib is in the corner there.
And
The crib is living room there.
Yes.
That was just for.
Oh,
Just
wow.
for the baby.
Look at how they decorated it. I know.
it's a nice sized room though.
I want this room. Oh, the colors.
You have to take some of these ideas home for your house. And then I think we go downstairs. Yes, this was the little sisters' room. There were 6 girls, so the little sisters here, and the boys lived in the bedroom.
That's beautiful. All right, am I getting it with this one though? I don't.
Mom and dad. Yeah, and did you get
Yay.
I know Antonella was doing.
I think that is a wrap. And that is an over and